Hey everybody, I'm Brian Boyle here, and welcome to episode 89 of The Mesh Tongue. It's Thursday, and I'm excited. Heading out of town tomorrow, or this evening, I guess, heading to Fort Worth, Texas. So anybody in Fort Worth, Texas, give a shout out, and I'll be down at the convention center all weekend, coming back Sunday. So I'd love to run into anybody if you're out and about. But episode 89 is part 2 of the Shin Splints episode. Part 1 was yesterday. We talked about differential diagnosis between shin splints. What could be tibial stress fracture, or kind of stress reaction. It could be compartment syndrome, nerve entrapment. Those are more serious things. Shin splints can become serious if not taken care of. So don't, not saying that the shin splints aren't bad. Anybody that suffered through them has suffered for sure. But the key is that they're not necessarily life-threatening. They're not necessarily something that you would need surgery to have a fasciotomy to cut the fascia to release the nerve, or relieve the pressure off the compartment. So there's definitely differences in things, and you want to be sure that we make sure that it is just a tibial stress, or I should say shin splints, where the fibers of the periosteum are just inflamed, and it's not just like a stress fracture or anything else like that. So you want to make sure that you're diagnosing this properly. But it is what it is. So hey, keep those questions, comments coming in. Brian, B-R-I-A-N at company5k.com. I'll be happy to get those back to you, those answers. I'm loving it. So it may take 24 hours or more, but it shouldn't take much more than that. Just depends on how many questions are coming in. So keep those coming in. Today we're going to talk about some exercises for the shin splints. Now, a lot of these exercises are going to look very similar to things that we've done in the past. Because you know why, runners? Because our hips are notoriously weak. They are. They're notoriously weak. Most of us sit all day. All right. This is a modern era where information is typed into computers, and we're doing things on social media, and we're all on the computer. We're data entry. We're entering this, whatever it is. Taking phone calls, and so the majority of us sit for the greater part of the day. When that happens, the hips become weak. When we run, hip flexors become tight. Guess what? Now you're going to set yourself up for all sorts of different things. So, with that being said, I'm going to show you these exercises that specifically do for shin splints, but don't be surprised if they look like some of the exercises we did for hip flexor. Don't be surprised if they look like some things we did for posterior tibialis. This is the key. We're going to work on the hips. We're going to work on a little bit of the knees. We're going to work on the foot and ankle for a little bit, but you'd be surprised. Again, like I said, a lot of these are exercises you've probably seen before if you've been watching this. We'll just put this in one video so you have it. So you always want to warm up. I would say 5-10 minutes, depending on how cold you are. Low impact, so I would say either bike or elliptical. If you don't have that, then you can probably just warm up with some stretching or doing some calisthenics in place. It could be just some easy jogging, whatever it may be. But again, it depends on how severe these symptoms are. So if you're having pain when you're running, I would say not to do these while running. If you're just kind of having some symptoms, but they're not too bad, fine when running, then you can use running as a warm-up, go from there. So what we do is, get the warm-up in, stretch the calves. So if you have a calf stretch board, stretch the calves. You don't have a calf stretch board, you can use, a band. We've got a stretch strap here, that you can take and get the calf, okay, stretching the foot and ankle that way. Okay, with the stretch strap, whatever it may be, again, I'm going to stretch both ways, knee bent, knee straight. We're going to hit soleus to the gastroc. Hold that for 30 seconds to a minute. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to stretch those hamstrings. Okay, so usually if we've got a stretch strap, I'll use the stretch strap to help with that. If not, door frame. All right, so use your door frame. Again, you've seen these exercises. I've posted these in the hip flexor stretch. Stretch that hip or that hamstring. You can see I'm a little bit tight from sitting today. We're stretch that 30 seconds to a minute. Okay, a couple times. Piriformis stretch. Love, love, love the piriformis stretch. Okay, so bring the leg up. Okay, and you're gonna feel that stretch right here in that back pocket where that wallet is. Okay, so you should feel that stretch 30 seconds to a minute. Again, guys, these are things that you should be doing on a daily basis. So stretching, the consistency of it is key. You can't stretch today, you can't wait till Easter, can't wait till Memorial Day, and then 4th of July, whenever days you have off, you gotta stretch it daily. Next thing we want to do is hip abduction side lying. So we're going to come up on the table again. Okay. So I'm going to be side lying, roll the hip forward. Okay, we're gonna raise this leg up. You can do here or knees bent. All right, the key with any of this is that the hips are rolled forward. Doesn't matter, okay? If the hips aren't rolled forward, you're not gonna get much of the exercise, which is in the back pocket here. You're gonna get it in the front. So you wanna be here, okay? Set a timer for a minute. You're gonna do 3 by 1 minute. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do our hip squares. Coming into quadruped, belly tight, back flat, bring the leg back, and we're making squares. Not parallelograms, not triangles, not circles, okay? Squares. We're gonna go for 1 minute. We'll switch legs. Okay, very simple. Again, the key with those is that we're building up the hip extensors, we're building up the strength in the hips. Next, we're gonna take a band. So they sell loop bands. If you have just a resistance band you want to tie in a knot in, okay, you can do that. We're gonna take the band, we're gonna put it around the feet, bring it up around the knees. Okay, we're gonna do our bridging with a band around the knees. Reason being is that then it actually kind of fires the hip abductors as we go into this bridge. So you've got to stabilize in order to keep the knees apart. Okay, so we keep the knees apart. So literally looks like that, knees apart, coming up. If that's too easy, you can always do single leg bridge. Okay, again, keeping that resistance on there. Depends on what level you're at. All right. Next one we're gonna do high. We're doing our windmills. Okay, so the hand is up. And it went too low, a little bit too low. Okay, so the hand comes up. We're gonna stabilize. Here, come out, touch. Again, notice that the knee hasn't gone over the toes, it hasn't gone forward. We're not wobbling in. Okay, so coming down, bend, touch the outside of the foot. Back up. If we need to put the foot down each time, we can. No worries. Okay. And then last but not least is the foot tenting, okay? So that's basically where you're taking your foot, and I'll show you here for purposes on here, okay? We're gonna take the foot and we're just gonna tent the foot, okay? So we're gonna just pulling the arch here, okay? We're not even necessarily trying to pull a towel, okay? This isn't necessarily the towel curls where you're pulling the toes. This is literally trying to pull in and make the arch here, okay? And you can see, sometimes this is a little bit easier than others, even for people that do this all the time. So, the stretches, 30 seconds to a minute, a couple times, 2 to 3 times. All right, the exercises that we've done, we did the hip abduction, straight leg or bent knee, and I'll put this on another post with all these listed out. We did bridging with a band, we did quadruped squares, okay, so on the hands and knees, leg squares. We did the windmills coming down, and we did foot tenting. So 3 by 1 minute, again, build yourself up. These are supplemental exercises unless you're injured. If you're injured, okay, then these are gonna be the exercises that you're gonna be doing anyway. I would encourage you to try and keep your cardio up while you're trying to maintain. If you're, if you've got shin splints that are unable to run, biking on interval bikes, pool running is a great way to do it also. Anything non-impact that can keep your cardio, respiratory, system going, perfect, while you're waiting for yourself to get back into shape. So, questions, comments, leave those below. I'll be happy to answer them too, today, tomorrow, get back to you, or whenever it is, that if it's a couple weeks from now, a couple months, if you're watching this then. Again, I'll be happy to get back to you. Brian at company, the number 5k.com. Also check out runpainless.com. And that's it. Today, episode 89 of The Mesh Tongue. Be back tomorrow for Friday. We'll be in Fort Worth, Texas, and we'll go from there. So have a great day, and I'll see you again.